Skeletons, it's Disney Queen Skelly here. It's also been so long since we've done one of these because I've been too lazy to write and I've been typing up my notebook and blah blah blah. Anyway, so today's verse is going to be the Main Street Cinema at Disneyland versus the Carousel of Progress in Walt Disney World. So just a heads up, some of these verses may not make a lot of sense, but when I was matching them up, I had some kind of reason for matching them up the way that I did. So I'm pretty sure the reason I matched these two up was because Interventions is gone. It's currently the Launchpad Star Wars thing, but I figured Main Street Cinema, Carousel of Progress, it just made sense to me. So again, just you guys are gonna have to deal with it. One shows movies, one shows like technology progression, and they're both stories and shows, and it made sense to me. Don't judge me. Alright, so first we're gonna start with the Main Street Cinema here at the Disneyland Resort. Classic cartoons on the silver screen. Step under the elegant Victorian-era marquee and into yesteryear. Watch some of Walt Disney's first animated efforts playing throughout the day on 6 separate movie screens. It's a nostalgic journey back to the beginning of Disney animation. Now playing, starring Mickey Mouse and a familiar roster of beloved Disney characters, the cartoons include Steamboat Willie, 1928, Plane Crazy, 1928, The Moose Hunt, 1931, Traffic Troubles, 1931, The Dog Napper, 1934, Mickey's Polo Team, 1936. Each short is 6 to 8 minutes long and originally aired before a full-length feature film. Steaming into history. Steamboat Willie is the short that made Mickey Mouse a star and introduced the world to synchronized sound, directed by Walt Disney and featuring his voice in the role of Mickey Mouse. Steamboat Willie was a huge hit when it premiered. Following its success, synchronized sound effects became the new standard for all animated films and shorts. Alright guys, next we'll be talking about the Carousel of Progress. Follow an audio animatronic family through the last century as they show how times have changed due to the many modern interventions. Located in Tomorrowland, Walt Disney's Carousel of Progress has a rich history that marks it as one of the oldest attractions in Walt Disney World. Walt Disney's Carousel of Progress. Through a rotating carousel theater, this attraction carries seated guests into the homes of 4 generations of the same family from the days before the electricity to the present day. After a brief introduction, your theater rotates to reveal Act 1, set on Valentine's Day around the turn of the century. After our host John tells the audience about the current state of modern conveniences, all pre-electricity, the theme music, There's a Great Big Beautiful Tomorrow, plays as the theater rotates again. Act 2 brings us to the 1920s and we see the family preparing for the 4th of July celebration. The father shows off all the new electric-powered conveniences, including the vacuum, electric lights, oven, and refrigerator, subsequently blowing all the fuses out in the neighborhood. Among the many other inventions spotlighted, we also see the son, Jimmy, listening to radio on which we hear John Philip Sousa march, and we hear about air cooling, a fan blowing over a block of ice. In Act 3, the John of the 1940s tells us that he's entered the rat race by living in the suburbs and commuting to work. We also see the benefits of his new refrigerator, television, and most importantly, indoor plumbing. The theater turns one more time to reveal Act 4, with the family celebrating Christmas on the eve of the new century. The family's automated oven manages to burn the Christmas turkey to a crisp, and the show concludes with the final rotation into the finale, from which the audience is dismissed. Showtime 20 minutes and 45 seconds. There is seldom a long wait, and it is well worth the time to see this piece of Disney history at least once. It is also a good place to take a break as you are seated in comfy, dark, or air conditioning. Accessibility. Guests using a wheelchair/ECV may remain seated during the show. Audio description and handheld captioning are available. The Carousel of Progress opened in Walt Disney World's Magic Kingdom on January 15, 1975. The attraction was originally called Carousel of Progress but was renamed to Walt Disney's Carousel of Progress following refurbishment in 1994. Audio animatronics. 8 characters, 4 scenes, total 42 figures. Designed and manufactured by WED, now known as Walt Disney Imagineering or WDI, and Mappo, previously known as the manufacturing division of WDI. Number of animated acts, 4. Number of stages, 6. Theater capacity, 240 guests. Theaters, 6. Weight of carousel, 375 tons. General Electric served as the corporate sponsor from 1964 until March 10, 1985. Building exterior. At both Disneyland in California and at the Magic Kingdom at Walt Disney World, the exterior was originally painted in white and deep blue stripes that grew larger and then smaller as the carousel rotated. There are 276 stripes that grew larger and then smaller as the carousel rotated. There were 276 stripes of each color. In 1993, with the rejuvenation of Tomorrowland, Walt Disney's Carousel of Progress was given a covering of large and colorful sprockets and bolts to fit in with the theming of Tomorrowland. Music. The following two theme songs were featured in the attraction and were both written by Richard M. and Robert B. Sherman, who composed the music for many favorite Disney films such as Mary Poppins. The Best Time of Your Life featured as a theme song with the opening of the attraction at the Magic Kingdom Park in 1975. There's a Great Big Beautiful Tomorrow, current attraction theme song at the Magic Kingdom, featured as the theme song for the original attraction at the 1964 World's Fair and the Disneyland attraction. Rover, Dog, has gone through many changes in the history of the attraction. His color has changed from white at the World's Fair to light brown and dark brown. His name has even changed and has been Buster, Sport, Queenie, and Rover. When the attraction reopened at the Magic Kingdom at the Walt Disney World Resort, his name was different for every scene. Today, the dog's name is Rover throughout the entire show. In this most recent version, Rover has been given new life and is the most realistic version ever seen. Voices. The following audio animatronics characters, along with their voice credits, appear in Walt Disney's Carousel of Progress attraction. Audio animatronics characters current cast. Father, John Shepard. Mother, B.J. Ward. Daughter, Debbie Derryberry. Young son, Peter Nelson. Teenage son, Paul Osterhout. Grandfather, Rex Allen. Grandmother, Mary Cervantes. And grandmother, Act 4, Janet Waldo. Cousin, Orville Mel Blanc. Radio personalities, Noel Blanc. Note, Jean Blanc, father's current voice, was a contemporary American humorist. Guests may recognize him as the narrator from A Christmas Story. Shepard also provides the opening and closing remarks of the current attraction. Rex Allen, the current voice of Grandpa, was the original voice of the father in the 1964 World's Fair version. Janet Waldo, Grandma in Act 4, previously served as the voice of Judy Jetson on the popular 1960s television cartoon The Jetsons. Debbie Derryberry was the voice of Jimmy Neutron on Nickelodeon. Mel Blanc is also known as the voice of Warner Brothers cartoon character Bugs Bunny. Noel Blanc is the son of Mel Blanc. Hidden Mickeys. There are 4 hidden Mickeys in the final scene. Mickey appears as a nutcracker on the fireplace mantle, a plush peeking from a present, a white peppermill on the kitchen counter, and an abstract painting on the dining room wall. See if you can spot any of those in this picture. Maybe not. History from official Walt Disney World information. Walt Disney's original concept for the World's Fair was a show that would interpret in an educational and entertaining way the role electricity has played in bettering man's living conditions. By 1959, General Electric was sponsor of the proposed attraction, which would consist of a series of stages depicting electricity through which people would walk. 1964 to 65 New York World's Fair. The result of the collaboration with GE was Progress Land, one of the most successful and exciting exhibits at the 1964 World's Fair. At the New York World's Fair in 1964, as many as 4,500 people per day enjoyed the Progress Land show. The widespread enthusiasm for it was astounding, for almost 16 million visitors saw this show. After viewing the show inside, guests went upstairs to view the Progress City. This 160-foot scaled model was built at 1/8 inch to the foot. It occupied 6,900 square feet of space using 22,000 scale trees and shrubs, 4,500 structures lit from within, and 1,400 working street lights about 1 inch tall each. Progress City was Walt Disney's model for Epcot. Progress City can still be viewed from the Tomorrowland Transit Authority People Mover at the Magic Kingdom. When the New York World Fair closed, the Carousel of Progress was moved to Disneyland, where it and the original music played from 1967 through 1973. Disneyland. In order to extend and preserve the show permanently, GE brought it to Disneyland in 1967. The GE Carousel of Progress in Disneyland was a 2-level pavilion which could be seen by up to 3,600 people per hour. The first level contained the same basic acts, however, at the end of Act 4, guests stepped into the speed ramp that carried them to the pavilion's second level. There they viewed Progress City, Walt's model for Epcot. During its 6-year run at Disneyland Park, more than 31 million people saw the show. Walt Disney World. In 1973, it was then moved to a new theater at Walt Disney World, opening in 1975 with a new theme song, The Best Time of Your Life. A 1993 rehab returned the original show music, There's a Great Big Beautiful Tomorrow, which still plays. Timeline. 1964. Created for the 1964 to 65 New York World's Fair as General Electric's Progress Land. July 1967 until 1973. Relocated to Disneyland and renamed Carousel of Progress. January 5th, 1975, opens at the Magic Kingdom in Walt Disney World with new final scene and new song, The Best Time of Your Life. March 10th, 1985, General Electric's last day as corporate sponsor of the attraction. 1994, the attraction was refurbished to its original state and renamed Walt Disney's Carousel of Progress. At this time, it was redone as a tribute to the original attraction. The theme song was changed back to There's a Great Big Beautiful Tomorrow, and the story created as a tribute to the nostalgia of the past. Alright guys, so that is it for today's Versus video. Personally, I do prefer the Carousel of Progress. I visited it for the first time at Florida about last year. That was the last time we went. It was really cool seeing it. I had heard of it and always wanted to experience it, and plus the air conditioning was perfect. So yeah, I am totally biased to the Carousel of Progress. It's not that I don't like the Main Street Cinema. I do. It's just I prefer the Carousel of Progress, but it's always nice to sit inside Main Street Cinema and just get a little bit of a nostalgia kick with all of the older Mickey Mouse cartoons that they have in there. But anyways, let me know in the comment section down below which one is your favorite out of this Versus video. I would love to know, and maybe why. Thank you guys so much for watching. Bye, little skeletons. Stay safe. I love you guys.